good morning, or evening, wherever in the world you are. Hello, based upon your time zone. It's real morning for me. It's 5:45 a.m. I'm in the Oklahoma City, Oklahoma area, um, in the United States. And wherever you're watching, I might have to ask this again. Wherever you're watching from, I would love to know. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you are going to work on this morning. I am excited. This is the second day that I'm doing these live streams. And let's see, on day 2, I woke up okay. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I actually like getting up early. Like, I don't dislike it by any means. It's just, it's sometimes pretty tired. But yesterday, this is why I'm doing this, right? I figure that if it helps me to get up early and capitalize on my morning hours to do the things that I feel called to do to make my impact before my work hours start, then that is also something that could help some of you out there. And so rather than just build a habit of getting up on my own all alone, so I decided to do live streams as well in case it would be of service to someone else out there. Yesterday, I finished 2 podcast episodes. I have a podcast called Making Your Impact. And I'm also working on a second podcast, slowly but surely. So just yesterday, when I finished those 2 podcast episodes, I was like, this is going to work. This is really cool. I guess I was surprised at that, and just was exactly my reasoning for doing it. So for doing all of this. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think we'll go ahead and just like jump right into a 10-minute time block. So it's a power hour, so I do 10 minutes and then 25 and 25. I consider doing 3 20-minute blocks, but I don't know. This is what works for me. So hopefully it works for all of you as well. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this. Oh, this is kind of a funny timer to use. It is a countdown timer for kids. I like it because it's colorful, and so are my other timers, but Okay, let's see. I'm going to share my screen, get this pulled up here. I think I'm going to actually spend my first 10 minutes doing morning pages. I don't know if you have ever heard of morning pages. It is it's a term that was coined by an author named Julia Cameron in a book she wrote, I think in the 90s. It's The Artist's Way. So it was an idea originally for artists that a lot of other people have kind of grabbed onto, especially in the last few years. And technically I'm not doing it exactly right, but the strategy of morning pages is, pretty close to first thing in the morning. You get up and you just like, and then you dump your brain out. I don't know if I've ever actually done the screwing the part of your head off like a lid, and then I don't know if I've ever quite given it that much of a, if I've acted it out quite like that. It's kind of what it feels like, though. You just get your thoughts out, whatever it is, and it's not supposed to be pretty. It doesn't have to be deep, but it's supposed to just kind of help you focus, get all the fuzziness out. For me, it has helped me definitely recognize some priorities, because you're supposed to do it without too much of a filter, right? You do it early in the day before all your synapses are firing. And wow, I've been really impressed with how much morning pages has helped me in a bunch of ways. And I need it this morning because I need to kind of establish some priorities. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start this 10-minute timer. I will be muted for that. And yeah, let's get started. Time is up. Time is up on that little block. How did that go for you? Let me know if you would like. It was just like a little warm-up sprint. It was 10 minutes, but it seems to last for longer. I only wrote one page of a morning page. Technically, it's supposed to be 3 pages, so I might finish that up in the next time block. But I kept looking up like, oh gosh, is it almost up? Oh, 4 minutes left? Okay. And it just seems to really expand. Also, I needed to adjust a contact lens. So that's why I just went to the full timer, because I'm like, some people get squeamish about different things and not everybody wants to see me like messing with my eyeball. I understand that. I definitely do. It's also good for if I start coughing. Thought I might sneeze there for a minute too. So I would have had to put the timer up for that. But I didn't. So hooray. Let's see. During that block, or during my morning pages, I realized that there are a couple more podcast episodes that I have a good start on. So one of them is, well, they're similarly themed, I guess, for my life. One is a few ways to help fight human trafficking, and one is a few ways to actually help a nonprofit. This is a melding of my worlds. My full-time work is I am a co-founder and the director of communications and development for a nonprofit in Oklahoma City called the Dragonfly Home, where we serve survivors of human trafficking, both sex trafficking and labor trafficking, and fighting human trafficking, full-time working in this field as an activist against human trafficking has been my work full-time for, gosh, I mean, not quite 10 years, but definitely the better part of a decade. So anyway, then I have a side business that I named Making Your Impact after the podcast. The podcast actually came first. And Making Your Impact is all about, well, my description is to inspire. Do I know the tagline for my own podcast at 6:03 a.m.? I think I do. To inspire and equip you to pursue your calling and make your difference in the world. And it is all about ways, well, to do just that. So practical tips, just different ideas for people, interviewing people, just anywhere that we can get inspiration, because that kind of work is hard work and you're often really pouring out everything that you have to do that kind of work, whatever it is. It is a huge commitment. And so I just, in addition to feeling called specifically to fight human trafficking and to serve survivors and do whatever I can with whatever I have to battle this scourge on society. I use the word scourge at 6:04 a.m. I'm pretty pleased with myself for that. I also have always really loved helping people take steps to pursue their calling in life. I mean, even when I was a little kid, I just really love that, because I feel like I know that there's so much good that can come in the world when people will take those steps of faith, take those risks to pursue what's really like in their heart to do. And it doesn't always have to be a full-time job like mine. Sometimes it's what you do in your evenings or your mornings. It can be writing, it can be volunteering. There's so many different ways to contribute. And not only does it make a difference in the world, but it brings so much joy and fulfillment in your own life. And so that's part of why I do this, why I'm starting to do this morning, and I'm getting myself a little fired up, even just talking about it, because I believe so strongly that through practical tips and just a little bit of support, we can create time if we aren't able to do it full time or don't feel led to do it full time, but we just want to contribute, that we can, through some strategies, make the time in our lives to do that. I'm so passionate about it that I started a whole podcast that became a whole business about it. Anyway, It's a different life. But I don't know why I even got off onto all that. Oh, yeah, because the 2 podcast episodes I'm working on are going to be 5 ways to fight human trafficking, just because I know that there are some people who listen to the podcast who do have a specific, at least side interest in that part of my work. And I've had people ask, what can I do to get involved? So I wanted to share a few ways. And they are some deeper ways. It's more like choosing how to get involved, how to choose an organization, how to raise awareness. Anyway, I want to get on to our next block. I don't want to talk too long. And the other one is a few ways to actually help a nonprofit. And I think that's just so helpful, because I wouldn't have known these ideas for helping a nonprofit if I hadn't co-founded one. So I think that could be a perspective that could really benefit some people. So that's what I'm going to do during this next time block. Do you think that I pulled up the timer? No, I pulled up the other ones. Here it is. All right, we're good. I'm still getting used to this. In my actual morning pages I wrote, I need to create my own playlist with the timers that I use. And then I wrote, I can't do that now because I just said on the stream that I was going to do my morning pages. The people will know if I'm writing in my journal or futzing about on YouTube. And so I didn't do it right then. So I will do that. Take a second to do that now, because you shouldn't have to wait while I figure out my timer situation. Let's go ahead and nope, wrong one. Listen, guys, it's coming. We're getting there. If you are watching with me and you want to tell me what you're working on today, I'm interested in literally just about anything that you could be doing. So let me know where the heck in the world you are located. I love geography. I love finding out. Yesterday we had somebody on, and it was the evening in Australia. That was really cool to be able to chat with that person. One of my best friends lives in South Africa, and so I felt a kinship with that person. All right, let's get started. I'm going to mute myself now. I'll see you on the other side of 25 minutes. Okay, that's enough timer. It's quiet. I had it on so quiet I almost missed it. I like these timers because they have such a gentle alarm that's this nice little jaunty tune. But I also had some focus music playing, but I didn't miss it. I want to say a special good morning to Elizabeth for joining us today. I'll chat with Elizabeth here, but I have to say, if you saw me laughing, this is an app that I use. It's called Focus at Will. I'm going to be talking about it in one of my upcoming podcast episodes. Focus, and then like an amp, what's it called? Just a little at sign, Will. It's pretty fun. You can go and you take a quiz, and they have all these different playlists with different types of music that, as far as I know, they specifically create to help you focus. All different energy levels. I've been using it for a couple of years, and I went for a few months without it because I was like, I don't know that I want to pay for this every month. And also it was quarantine, and so I wasn't necessarily, especially those first few months, I'm like, I'm not so sure that focusing is really anything I'm able to do anyway. And it was funny when I decided to go ahead, I got an email a few months ago saying that I could get like 50% off a year membership. And I thought, I'm just going to go for it. It is crazy. Like, I turn on the music, and the version that I have, I guess I could play you a little bit of it. I would never expect that this would be something that would help me to focus. It's called Focus Spa. And then there's another one called Alpha Chill, which makes me feel very cool. And I kind of alternate between those two. See if you can hear it. It's so atmospheric. It's lovely. It's just, I never would have expected that this would help me focus. I never in a million years would have just tried that myself. But I'm telling you, I flip it on, and something just rearranges in my mind. And they have it all different. They have lists specifically for people who experience ADHD. They've got several atmospheric coffee shop playlists, and those are really nice as well. But I was laughing because every so often on that playlist, it gets real, I don't know, like sometimes there will be something with really high pitched like flutes. And I'm like, nope, we're going to go ahead and skip that one. And yes, I agree. Okay, Elizabeth, it is a great app. Atmospheric, but intense. Yeah, intense enough to help with focus. And they say on there, every so often they'll play a song that maybe just doesn't quite fit with you. They're like, if it's distracting, just hit the next button. So I'll usually go for a while, and I'll just be like writing away or something, and then all of a sudden I think, what is happening right now? And the whatever song has brought me out of it, and then I can just tap that next button and then dive right back in. They have other ones, like you don't have to do the one that your quiz brings up. They have other ones to choose from. There's nice piano music. There's one called Electro Bach, and that's pretty cool too. And also I'd be curious to know, any of you, if you were able to get anything done during that time block. For me, so I'm working on this episode for my podcast right now. I do a lot of nonfiction writing, although I like fiction writing. I just tend to lean toward nonfiction. I have a lot of fiction writing friends. And so today I am working on podcast episodes for my podcast called Making Your Impact. And I had mentioned a little while ago, I was working on one, and I had titled it 5 Ways to Fight Human Trafficking, because that's my full-time work. And I started really looking at that episode, and I realized it's really not about specific ways to get involved in the cause. It's more like tips for choosing an organization, looking at how they talk about human trafficking and survivors, and thinking about yourself and the best way to kind of capitalize on your own qualities. So it was really more about that. So that was really helpful to kind of reframe that in my head. Elizabeth is working on a cozy mystery. I love it. First of all, I love the word cozy in basically any context, but a cozy mystery. So, Elizabeth, I'd be curious to know where you are located, even generally right now. I'm in the Oklahoma City area myself in the US. And is this your first cozy mystery that you have worked on? And okay, use the sprint. You got organized and refreshed your memory from your outline for the next sprint. So good. I spent my first 10-minute block doing some morning pages because I just knew that I needed that little bit of focus, and that helped me, yeah, just like you're saying, kind of get to that point of where I could dive into productivity. So that's great. I wish that I could go longer today, but I tend to start work. I work mostly from home, and so I start that around 7. So we will go for just another 25-minute time block, 25-minute sprint. Oh, let's see. Oh, wow, more than 40 cozies. That is so cool. North Carolina in the Charlotte area. Every time I think about North Carolina, I just think it's got to be so beautiful there. I don't know. The closest I've ever been, no, the furthest I've ever been into North Carolina was when I visited a friend in Tennessee a few years ago, and she lives in Knoxville. And so we drove into Smoky Mountain National Park and crossed the state line into North Carolina. I was very excited because that was the first time I'd ever been in that state. I also, though, took the bar exam in Roanoke, Virginia, which isn't too far north of North Carolina, right? So I feel like it has some similar geography, just the beautiful green mountains, and it was just so pretty there. I was only there for a few days, but I always wish that I could have spent a little more time. So Roanoke isn't too far away. Knoxville is beautiful. I had never been. I drove from Oklahoma City, and I got to stay there with her for about 5 days. Knoxville itself is such a nice, cool city. I liked just being there and seeing it. I like anytime I cross into a new county in Oklahoma. I'm not originally from Oklahoma, but I lived here 12 years. But anytime I just see any place new, it's always exciting for me. But then, yeah, this area surrounding Knoxville, it was less than an hour's drive down to the Smoky Mountains. I couldn't believe it. Also, Dolly Parton land. And Dolly Parton is a national hero, so that's pretty fun. Okay, let's hop into this. This will be my last sprint. Elizabeth, have you ever heard, though, of Devin cutting? Devin is someone who has created a bunch of has created a playlist that has all sorts of writing sprints all throughout the day. He just collects writing sprints as a service to authors. And his playlist should be linked in this video. Let me just double check that it's there. Yeah, if you scroll down, resources for writers, daily writing sprint playlist by Devin Cutting. Oh, that's how you found it. Someone found me yesterday. Someone from Australia found it yesterday. Devin, we met him because another friend of mine, also listed, Allie Deatherage, does writing sprints. And he just hops on there with us. We're all like, what's up, Devin? It's such an interesting service to think of for authors. Really cool. Okay, awesome. I'm going to fire up this 25-minute time block for us then. I'll mute myself, and I'll talk to you all on the other side. Now, that one went by like that. Oh man, that one felt really quick. Oh man, I wish that I could keep sprinting because I started to get some really good momentum on this episode. 5 tips for fighting human trafficking. I'm like, oh, I'm really in the groove now, but I got to get to work at the nonprofit where that's what I do all the time, every day anyway. Let's see, what do we have in the chat? So my good pal, Allie Deatherage, joined us. She had a longer than usual day teaching children English in China through VIP Kid. And I think, Allie, you had a lot today because I don't know if it's today or not, but Chinese New Year is coming up. And so the kiddos have a lot of family events and traditions and celebrations that they're going to be doing. And so I think Allie has 0 classes tomorrow and maybe fewer than usual this week. And so, yeah, I hope that it went well. I imagine you'll tell me the details later today. Yes, okay, so Elizabeth and Allie know each other. Elizabeth maybe has hopped onto some Allie's sprints. That's great. Cozy Mystery is just like that. I immediately thought of Murder, She Wrote. And what's her? Angela Lansbury is her real name. Jessica Fletcher. That was where my mind went immediately. Just such fond memories. Elizabeth got 830 words. That's fantastic. Closing in on 1K there. That's great. So Elizabeth, are you going to keep sprinting? Are you going to find some next sprints to hop onto? I hope so. Or maybe you're done for the day. Either way, I'm so glad that you joined. I'm going to be doing these pretty regularly. Right now, I'm pretty sure that Tuesdays and Wednesdays will be a consistent day for me to do these sprints. This is a different month than usual for me. I have a lot of later evening events because my nonprofit was chosen by a local high school for a whole month of fundraising. These kids are doing so much work to do amazing month-long fundraisers. I'm like, do you guys even go to class during this month? Are you learning any reading, writing, or arithmetic? But they're so cool, and so I will be participating in those to some degree later at night. So I'm not sure about Thursdays or Fridays. I'm going to maybe alternate between those, but at least tomorrow I will be on at 5:45 a.m. Central Time. Let's see. Allie says tomorrow is New Year's Eve for them. Oh, they all want to watch, oh, right, a really popular variety show in the evening that the whole country watches. That's cool. And Elizabeth says she'll take a break to run an errand, but sprinting on some other sprints later. That's great. Thank you so much for joining, Elizabeth. It was lovely to have you with us in the chat, and I definitely would love to hear about your progress with your cozy mystery. All right. Well, Allie, thank you for also hopping on for these last few minutes, and to everybody else who was here who is just working away and maybe didn't post anything in comments. As long as you're getting things done toward making your impact, I'm a happy gal. All right. Well, I need to hop. Oh, Allie found Elizabeth on Amazon. That is so cool. Nice. Okay, I'm going to hop off now. I'm going to get to work. So goodbye, everyone. If you're in the U.S., have a wonderful day. Let's see, if you're in Europe, have a wonderful evening. If you are in the Oceania side of the world, like our friend who joined us yesterday, sleep well. All right. Bye, everyone.